The sun rises over the Nile Valley, as it has for millennia, bringing light and life to the land of Egypt. This daily miracle lies at the heart of one of humanity's oldest and most enduring divine figures, Ra, the supreme sun god whose journey across the sky shapes the very fabric of Egyptian cosmology. Before we begin this journey through the myths and mysteries of Ra, if you enjoy exploring ancient mythology and want to support more episodes like this, please subscribe and follow the channel. Your support helps us bring these ancient stories to light. Ra stands as the preeminent solar deity in the Egyptian pantheon, embodying the physical sun itself and representing the fundamental life-giving force of creation. His name, written in hieroglyphs as a circle with a dot in the center, directly symbolizes the sun disk. Unlike many deities whose importance waxes and wanes through Egyptian history, Ra maintains his position at the center of religious thought from the Old Kingdom through the end of pharaonic civilization. The theology surrounding Ra positions him as a self-created god who emerges from the primordial waters of none at the beginning of time. According to the Heliopolitan creation myth recorded in the pyramid texts of the Old Kingdom, Ra brings himself into existence on the primeval mound, the first solid ground to emerge from the cosmic ocean. From this act of self-generation, he becomes known by several names. Khepri in the morning, representing the scarab beetle who rolls the sun into existence, Ra at noon, in his full power, and Atum in the evening, as the setting sun. Ra's physical form varies according to the time of day and theological context. Most commonly, he appears as a man with the head of a falcon, crowned with the solar disk encircled by the uraeus, a sacred cobra representing the goddess Wadjet, who spits fire at his enemies. The pyramid text's Utterance 251 describes Ra as the bull of the sky, emphasizing his creative power. Other texts describe him with a ram's head during his nocturnal journey, symbolizing his generative force even in the underworld. Ra's principal cult center establishes itself at Iunu, known to the Greeks as Heliopolis, near modern Cairo. The temple complex centers around the Benben stone, a sacred pyramidal object representing the primeval mound of creation. The priests of Heliopolis develop sophisticated cosmological texts, placing Ra at the center of their theological system, spreading his worship throughout Egypt. Ra's family relationships reflect the Egyptian understanding of cosmic creation and divine hierarchy. As a self-created deity, Ra has no parents in the traditional sense, though some texts identify him as emerging from or being synonymous with Atum, the complete one who contains all potential existence within himself. Through his own creative power, Ra produces the first divine couple without a consort. The pyramid texts describe how Ra creates Shu, god of air, and Tefnut, goddess of moisture, through an act of masturbation or by spitting them forth. From Shu and Tefnut descend Geb, the earth god, and Nut, the sky goddess, who in turn produce Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys, completing the Ennead, the 9 great gods of Heliopolis. Regarding Ra's consorts, the situation proves more complex than a simple marital relationship. Several goddesses associate themselves with Ra in ways that blur the lines between wife, daughter, and divine aspect. Hathor, the great cow goddess, frequently appears as Ra's daughter, yet she also manifests as the Eye of Ra, an extension of his own power. Re'et-Tawe, whose name means Ra of the Two Lands, serves as Ra's direct female counterpart in some texts, essentially representing the feminine aspect of the sun god himself. The solar deity's children extend beyond his immediate offspring to include various manifestations. Ma'at, personifying truth, justice, and cosmic order, maintains such a close relationship with Ra that she becomes inseparable from his daily functions, though whether she qualifies as his daughter or eternal companion varies by source. Bastet, the cat goddess, also appears in some texts as a daughter of Ra, serving as another form of his protective eye. The most fundamental myth concerning Ra describes his daily journey across the sky and through the underworld, a voyage that maintains cosmic order and enables life itself. This journey forms the basis for Egyptian concepts of time, cycles, and the relationship between life and death. Each morning, Ra emerges in the east as Khepri. The solar barque, called the Manjet, or Boat of Millions of Years, carries Ra and his divine crew across the heavens. Sia, representing divine knowledge, Hu, embodying authoritative utterance, Heka, the god of magic, and Ma'at herself, whose presence ensures the journey proceeds according to cosmic law. At noon, Ra reaches the height of his power, blazing overhead as Ra Horakti, whose name means Ra, who is Horus of the horizon. The Litany of Ra, inscribed in royal tombs, praises the god under 75 different forms and names during this triumphant phase. As evening approaches, Ra transforms into Atum, the aged form of the sun god. When he sets in the west, he enters the mouth of Nut, the sky goddess, and begins his perilous voyage through the Duat, the Egyptian underworld. The Amduat, found in New Kingdom royal tombs, describes this night journey in 12 sections corresponding to the 12 hours. During the 7th hour, Ra confronts his greatest enemy, Apophis, the enormous serpent of chaos, who seeks to stop the sun's journey and plunge the world into eternal darkness. The Book of Overthrowing Apophis, preserved in the Bremner Rind Papyrus, provides spells priests use to assist Ra. Each night, the god Set stands at the prow of the boat, spearing Apophis with his harpoon. Though Apophis can never be permanently destroyed, the combined magical power of the divine crew defeats him until the next night's battle. After passing through the 12th hour, Ra undergoes rejuvenation. The aged Atum merges with Osiris in the deepest part of the underworld, a fusion described in tomb texts as the mysterious union. Through this union, Ra draws on Osiris's regenerative power, emerging reborn as Khepri in the eastern sky. This eternal pattern of death and rebirth provides the theological foundation for Egyptian beliefs about resurrection and the afterlife. Among Ra's most important powers, the Eye of Ra stands as both a destructive weapon and an independent divine force. The eye represents the feminine, aggressive aspect of the sun god's power, capable of being sent forth to act on his behalf. The most famous tale appears in the Book of the Heavenly Cow, preserved in New Kingdom royal tombs, including that of Tutankhamun. When humanity plots against the aging Ra, he sends his eye forth in the form of Hathor, who transforms into Sekhmet, the lioness goddess of war and plague. Sekhmet descends upon humanity with terrible fury, slaughtering rebels and wading through their blood. Fearing she will destroy all of humanity, Ra devises a plan, ordering his servants to brew 7,000 jars of beer mixed with red ochre to resemble blood. They pour this mixture over the fields during the night. When morning comes, Sekhmet drinks deeply, becomes intoxicated, and her rage transforms into contentment, saving humanity. In the myth of the distant goddess, preserved in Demotic texts, the Eye of Ra grows angry and flees to Nubia as a lioness, taking light and moisture from Egypt. Ra sends Thoth and Shu to retrieve her. During the journey back, the goddess gradually transforms from a wild lioness into the benevolent Hathor, and her return brings the Nile inundation, restoring fertility to Egypt. The Uraeus serpent on Ra's crown represents another form of the eye, rearing up to spit fire at the sun god's enemies. This protective symbol appears prominently on pharaohs' crowns throughout Egyptian history, connecting royal power directly to Ra's defensive might. The relationship between Ra and earthly kingship forms a cornerstone of Egyptian political theology. From the 4th dynasty onward, pharaohs incorporate Ra into their throne names, and the title Son of Ra becomes one of the 5 names in the royal titulary, directly linking the king's legitimacy to solar theology. At death, the king becomes one with Osiris in the underworld, while his soul joins Ra in the solar barque. Royal architecture reflects this solar theology. Pyramids represent the rays of the sun descending to earth, providing a means for the king's soul to ascend to Ra. The Benben stones that topped pyramids and obelisks symbolize the sacred stone of Heliopolis, where the sun's rays touch the earth. Sun temples, particularly those built by 5th dynasty kings, such as New-Sera, feature open courtyards centered on massive obelisks for direct worship of Ra. The morning ritual performed in every major temple reenacts Ra's daily rebirth. The high priest, representing the king, enters the dark sanctuary before dawn, breaks the seal, and opens the shrine doors to reveal the god's cult statue. He performs purification rituals and presents offerings, awakening the deity just as Ra awakens each morning, making every Egyptian temple a microcosm of Ra's cosmic function. Several myths address Ra's eventual aging and the challenges this presents to cosmic order. The Book of the Heavenly Cow describes humanity plotting against Ra because he had become old, his bones turning to silver, his flesh to gold, and his hair to lapis lazuli. This aging introduces vulnerability to his authority. The legend of Ra and Isis, preserved in the Turin Papyrus, tells how Isis seeks to obtain Ra's secret name, which contains his ultimate power. Isis, more clever than countless gods, gathers earth mixed with Ra's saliva, which falls as he drools in his old age, and fashions from it a magical serpent. She places it on Ra's path, and when the serpent bites him, no magic can heal the wound because it was made from his own essence. Isis approaches, offering to heal him if he reveals his true name. In desperation, Ra passes his secret name directly from his heart to hers. Isis gains tremendous magical power, but uses it to heal Ra rather than overthrow him, maintaining cosmic balance. This myth demonstrates that even the greatest gods face vulnerabilities. Magic operates according to laws that all must respect, and knowledge of secret names equals power in Egyptian thought. The aging of Ra also raises concerns about creation's sustainability. In the Book of the Dead, Atum speaks of the eventual end when he will return to his original form, and the cosmos will revert to the undifferentiated state of none, presenting creation as temporary, maintained by Ra's constant effort. The tale of the 7 scorpions, preserved in the Metternich stela from the 30th dynasty, demonstrates Ra's protective power over those who serve him faithfully. When Isis flees from Set with the young Horus, 7 scorpions accompany her as bodyguards, commissioned directly by Ra through Thoth. These scorpions, Tefn, Befin, Mestet, Mestatef, Petet, Thetet, and Matet, possess deadly venom and unwavering loyalty. During her journey, Isis seeks shelter at the house of a wealthy woman, but the woman, fearing the scorpions, slams the door in the goddess's face. A poor fisherwoman, however, kindly offers Isis a place to stay. Furious at this insult by the wealthy woman, 6 scorpions pool their venom and give it to Tefn, who crawls under the door and stings the woman's young son. The child falls deathly ill, and the mother runs through the streets, wailing for help. Despite the woman's rejection, Isis takes pity on the innocent child. She speaks words of power, invoking Ra's authority. Through Ra's power channeled through Isis, the poison leaves the child's body, and he recovers. The wealthy woman brings all her possessions as offerings, yet it is the poor fisherwoman, who had shown kindness earlier, who receives blessings in abundance. This legend emphasizes that Ra's authority extends over all creatures. His protection reaches those who show compassion, and his power can be delegated to deities acting in accordance with Ma'at. Another significant legend concerns the origin of the winged sun disk, one of Egyptian iconography's most recognizable symbols. This tale, recorded in temple inscriptions at Edfu, tells of enemies plotting rebellion in Nubia, threatening cosmic order. Ra sails south in his solar barque and summons Horus of Edfu as his champion. Horus transforms into the great winged disk, a sun with outstretched falcon wings, and flies above Ra's barque to scout for enemies. The Edfu texts describe how Horus blinds the rebels so they cannot see clearly. In their confusion, they turn on each other while Horus strikes from above. Pleased with Horus's victory, Ra decrees the winged disk shall become a permanent symbol of divine protection. From that day forward, the winged sun disk appears carved above temple entrances throughout Egypt. The legend continues as rebels regroup, transforming into hippopotamuses and crocodiles to attack Ra's barque from the water. Horus adapts, taking the form of a young man with a harpoon, and strikes down these aquatic enemies as well. This myth explains the origin of an important religious symbol, legitimizes the pharaoh's role as Horus defending Ra's cosmic order on Earth, and demonstrates that Ra's enemies, though they take many forms, ultimately cannot prevail against divine authority. While the epic struggle between Horus and Set for the throne of Egypt centers on those 2 gods, Ra plays a crucial role as supreme judge. This legend, preserved in the Chester Beatty Papyrus one from the 20th dynasty, reveals Ra's character as both powerful and fallible. When both Horus, son of Osiris, and Set, brother of Osiris, claim the right to rule Egypt, the divine tribunal gathers with Ra presiding. Most gods favor Horus as the legitimate heir, but Ra expresses reservations, suggesting Horus seems too young, while Set has proven his strength, particularly in defending Ra's barque against Apophis each night. This angered many of the gods, and during the proceedings the minor deity Baba insulted Ra for his lack of power over them. So offended, Ra withdraws from the assembly and lies in his pavilion, deeply hurt. The entire cosmic order threatens to break down with Ra's withdrawal from his duties. The goddess Hathor, in her role as Ra's daughter, goes to him and performs an act that the papyrus describes delicately, but which most scholars interpret as Hathor exposing herself to Ra, causing him to laugh and forget his wounded pride. This demonstrates that even Ra experiences emotional vulnerability and requires other deities' support to maintain cosmic balance. The contendings continue through numerous contests over 80 years. Finally, the gods consult Neith, the goddess of wisdom, who declares Horus must receive the throne, with Set receiving double his possessions, and the foreign goddesses Anat and Astarte as compensation. Ra makes the final ruling. Horus shall rule Egypt as Osiris's rightful heir, while Set's strength will be honored in his permanent position defending the solar barque. This legend reveals Ra not as infallible, but as a deity who navigates complex questions, who can be hurt, and who must balance justice with cosmic order, demonstrating that divine authority requires wisdom, patience, and sometimes compromise to maintain Ma'at. A remarkable legend preserved in various temple inscriptions explains the origin of humanity through Ra's emotions. According to this tradition, when Ra completes his act of creation and surveys all that he has made, tears fall from his eyes. These tears, touching the primordial earth, transform into the first human beings. The Egyptian word for tears, remit, contains the same root as the word for people, creating a linguistic connection that reinforces this mythological origin. This legend carries profound theological significance. It establishes humanity not as a planned creation, but as an almost accidental byproduct of divine emotion, explaining both humanity's connection to the divine and their fundamental separation from it. Ra commands 7 powerful demons or protective spirits known as the 7 arrows of Ra, or the 7 Hathors. These entities serve as extensions of Ra's will, capable of bringing disease, misfortune, or protection depending on Ra's intentions. Medical papyri and magical texts frequently invoke these spirits to either inflict suffering on enemies or withdraw afflictions from the suffering. The Ebers Papyrus, one of the oldest preserved medical documents dating to approximately 1550 BCE, contains numerous spells calling upon Ra's power for healing. Ra's protective power extends to the Sa symbol of protection, written as a rolled papyrus. Amulets bearing Ra's name or symbols provide protection to the living and the dead. The Book of the Dead contains multiple spells for amulets to be placed on mummies, invoking Ra's power to ensure the deceased's safe passage through the underworld and successful resurrection. Beyond Apophis, Ra confronts other serpentine adversaries in Egyptian mythology. One significant legend involves Nehebkau, a primordial serpent who exists before creation itself. Unlike Apophis, who represents pure chaos, Nehebkau embodies the dangerous but necessary forces that predate and underlie creation. According to Pyramid Text Utterance 229, Nehebkau serves as a guardian and protector of Ra despite his terrifying nature. This paradox illustrates Egyptian theology's sophisticated understanding that order and chaos, creation and destruction, exist in necessary balance. Ra does not destroy all serpents, but incorporates some into his cosmic order, transforming potential threats into guardians. The coffin texts describe how Ra assigns various serpent deities roles and positions in the cosmos. Some guard specific regions of the underworld, others protect sacred spaces, and still others serve as adversaries that Ra must perpetually overcome. This complex serpent mythology reflects the Egyptians' awareness of snakes as both deadly dangers and symbols of regeneration through their ability to shed their skins. Ra associates himself with several sacred animals beyond the falcon form. The scarab beetle represents his morning manifestation as Khepri. The Egyptians observe how scarab beetles roll balls of dung and bury them, from which new beetles emerge, seeing in this behavior a perfect metaphor for Ra's daily death and rebirth. The ram becomes sacred to Ra, particularly in his nocturnal form. Temple reliefs frequently show Ra with a ram's head during his journey through the underworld. The Egyptians choose the ram for its associations with fertility and generative power, viewing it as an animal embodying creative energy, even in darkness. Temples dedicated to Ra often maintain sacred flocks of rams as living manifestations of the god's power. The phoenix, known in Egyptian as the Bennu bird, connects intimately with Ra's mythology. According to Heliopolitan tradition, the Bennu appears at the beginning of time, alighting on the Benben stone and crying out, its voice breaking the primordial silence and marking creation's first moment. The Bennu becomes associated with Ra's Ba, which is his soul, and with cycles of time. The obelisk serves as Ra's primary architectural symbol. These massive stone monuments, tapering to pyramidal points, covered in electrum gleaming in sunlight, represent frozen rays of sun striking the earth. Pharaohs erect them at temple entrances as permanent prayers to Ra, with inscriptions praising the sun god and commemorating the king's devotion. The Book of the Heavenly Cow contains a continuation beyond Sekhmet's rampage that proves equally significant. After saving humanity from complete destruction, Ra grows weary of ruling directly on Earth. The text describes his disillusionment, declaring that his heart has grown too tired to remain among such ungrateful and rebellious creatures. Ra announces his intention to withdraw from Earth to the heavens. He commands Nut, the sky goddess, to transform into a giant cow and lift him into the sky. As Nut raises Ra higher on her back, she begins to tremble from vertigo. Ra then creates the four gods known as the Pillars of Shu, placing them at Nut's four legs to support her, establishing the fundamental structure of the cosmos with Earth below and heaven above. This withdrawal marks a crucial transition in Egyptian cosmology. Ra no longer walks among humans as he did in the primordial age, but rules from the sky, accessible only through temple rituals and the pharaoh's mediation. The legend explains why gods remain distant and communicate through signs, oracles, and cult statues rather than direct presence. The text emphasizes that this separation results from humanity's own rebellion. Yet Ra does not abandon his creation. From the heavens, he continues his daily journey, his light sustaining all life. He establishes divine kingship, allowing pharaohs to serve as intermediaries between heaven and earth, explaining both the gods' transcendence and their continued involvement in the world. Egyptian theology demonstrates remarkable flexibility through syncretism, combining different deities into composite forms. Ra participates in several combinations that become especially prominent during the New Kingdom. The most significant syncretic form combines Ara with Amun, the hidden god of Thebes. Amun-Ra represents the fusion of Amun's mysterious, invisible creative power with Ra's visible, life-giving solar energy. Temple inscriptions refer to this combined deity as King of the Gods, and during the New Kingdom, Amun-Ra receives the most elaborate temple complexes in Egypt, including the vast Karnak temple at Thebes. Ra-Horakhti merges the sun god with Horus in his celestial aspect, emphasizing Ra's role as the falcon soaring across the sky and connecting royal theology directly to solar worship. This becomes one of the most common forms in Egyptian art. Atum-Ra represents the evening and creative aspects of the sun god, emphasized in Heliopolitan theology, explicitly stating the unity of the creator god and sun god as fundamentally one being. Sobek-Ra emerges during the Middle Kingdom, combining the crocodile god Sobek with Ra's solar attributes. This syncretism flourishes in the Fayum region, emphasizing both fertility through Sobek's association with water and the Nile, and the life-giving power of the sun. Another legend involves the sacred Book of Thoth, a text of immense magical power containing the secrets of the gods. This story, preserved in demotic papyri from the Ptolemaic period, tells of Prince Setne-Kamwas who seeks this forbidden knowledge. According to the legend, Thoth writes a book containing all the secrets of the universe, including spells to understand the language of animals, to enchant the sky and earth, and to see the gods themselves, including Ra in his daily journey. Upon learning of its existence, Ra becomes furious, understanding that such knowledge in mortal hands would disrupt cosmic order and give humans power they should not possess. Ra commands the book be hidden where no mortal can find it. One copy is sealed in nested boxes of gold, silver, bronze, and various woods, then thrown into the Nile at Koptos, guarded by an eternal serpent and surrounded by venomous creatures. Ra decrees that anyone who seeks this book and gains its knowledge will suffer terrible consequences, for some knowledge belongs to the gods alone. Prince Setne-Kamwas discovers the book's location and retrieves it from the river despite warnings. He reads the spells and gains tremendous magical power, even forcing Ra's barque to stop in its journey across the sky. However, as Ra warned, this knowledge brings catastrophe upon Setne and his family. Only when he returns the book and makes amends does Ra's curse lift. This legend emphasizes Ra's role as keeper of cosmic boundaries and divine order, demonstrating that while Ra empowers humanity through his light, certain knowledge must remain divine alone. Ra's importance extends crucially into the realm of death and resurrection. The deceased aspire to join Ra's entourage in the solar barque during its daily journey. The Book of the Dead contains numerous spells designed to enable this union with Ra. Spell 15, titled Hymn to Ra When He Rises, provides the deceased with words to greet Ra at dawn and request permission to join his crew. Through reciting this hymn, the deceased demonstrates knowledge of Ra's nature, proving worthy to approach the god. The journey through the underworld parallels Ra's own nocturnal voyage. The Book of Gates divides the underworld into 12 regions, corresponding to the 12 hours of night. The deceased must pass through each gate by knowing the correct passwords and demonstrating purity of heart. The deceased who have joined Ra's crew participate in defending the barque using spells learned in life to combat the chaos serpent. The climactic moment arrives in the 12th hour when Ra merges with Osiris in the mysterious union. The deceased participate in this transformation, their own Ba and body reuniting as they emerge with Ra into the dawn, resurrected into eternal life. Ra possesses countless epithets, each revealing different aspects of his nature and power. The Litany of Ra, found in royal tombs beginning with that of Thutmose III, lists 75 distinct forms and names of the sun god. This proliferation of names reflects the Egyptian belief that knowing a deity's names grants understanding of their power and provides a means of invoking it. Temple inscriptions add regional variations to Ra's epithets, connecting him to local deities like Horus at Edfu, Ptah at Memphis, and Khnum at Elephantine. This theological flexibility allows Ra to adapt to local traditions while maintaining his core identity as the supreme solar deity. Ra's secret name, revealed in the legend with Isis, represents the ultimate expression of naming power, containing his essential nature and total power in a single word. Ra's journey across the sky continues today, just as it has for millions of years according to the ancient Egyptians. As the supreme solar deity, self-created and eternally reborn, Ra represents humanity's earliest and most fundamental recognition of the sun's absolute necessity for life. Through his countless legends, his creation of the world, his battles against chaos, his complex relationships with other deities, his withdrawal to the heavens, and his promise of resurrection, Ra embodies the Egyptian understanding of existence as a perpetual struggle between order and chaos. His myths encode sophisticated theological concepts about creation, time, cosmic order, and the relationship between mortality and eternity. They reveal a civilization that saw not merely a burning sphere, but a divine personality, a god who creates, ages, struggles, withdraws, yet never abandons his creation, returning each dawn to illuminate the world anew. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the myths and legends of Ra, the supreme sun god of ancient Egypt. If you found this exploration enlightening, please share it with others who might enjoy learning about ancient mythology. Subscribe to the channel for future episodes exploring other deities from the Egyptian pantheon. Until next time, may the light of knowledge illuminate your path, just as Ra illuminates the world.